Hello, third grade. It is Mr. Frazier again. Today is Tuesday, April 21st. Sorry about that. And this is a brief science lecture. Since we're not doing the keynote videos, got dressed up again. So today we're just going to talk a little bit, a few reminders before we begin. Tomorrow, we don't have our first full class meeting until this Friday. But tomorrow we're going to try and all get on the same page. It's Wednesday, getting onto Zoom. Remember, I made a short video. It's super easy. You guys are smart. Your parents are there. I don't think it'll be any problem, but we're going to try to get everybody together, but we won't be teaching. In the future, a reminder for you and any parents that may be watching, we'll be doing classroom meetings where you'll be able to see me like this, but you'll be able to see your friends on the computer screen as well. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I will be posting videos like this. I probably won't do them every Tuesday and Thursday unless I get people asking me to, because I don't want more, even watching a video is something that if you got math and spelling packets and history and reading logs, and then also have to look at my ugly mug while I talk to you, it's just a lot of work. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're going to be doing class. Tuesdays and Thursdays will be videos like we have done. All right, so today in science, our reading for this week was pages 205 to 215. Now, we've been talking about habitats. What is a habitat? A habitat is the environment or the location, the place, the atmosphere that an organism grows in or lives in. So this could even apply to plants. For example, a cactus has a particular habitat. It's the desert. It's designed by God to exist in a dry, waterless place, while a redwood can't live in the desert. It needs some place with more water, with more moisture. The same thing for animals. If you take a goldfish, I had a cousin who one time won a goldfish at like one of the fall festival, how you throw the ping pong balls, and she won a goldfish, and she took it home and put it in the water. And the next day, mom came in, my aunt, and found it was dead. She said, "What happened? What happened, Lauren?" And she said, I put salt in the water because it's a fish living in the ocean. If you're a goldfish that's designed for fresh water, salt water will kill you. If you are a fish like, I don't know, I can't think of anything, a shark, they need to live in salt water. Also, by the way, just a quick side note, if you just pour salt into water, that does not make it ocean water. So that won't work for anybody. But so certain habitats are designed, or animals are designed to exist in their habitat. Penguins do not fly, but they are great swimmers, and they have loads of body fat, and that is to protect them from the freezing cold of the winter. So habitats and animals or organisms go together. You cannot have a Bengal tiger that's orange and black and put it in the desert. You'll be able to spot it. You'll never be able to catch its prey. So they've been adapted to their specific environment, which we call a habitat. The four things that every organism needs for their habitat: space, we talked about it, shelter, water, and food. Now, space we already talked about, right? That's the amount of area that they need to live. Even if you're planting strawberries, if you can't plant them too close together, you got to spread them out a little bit because they need a certain amount of moisture and minerals. Different animals need different amounts of space. Shelter is protection. Some shelter is a literal place, like squirrels hiding in a tree, or gophers that burrow underground. But shelter can just be protection, like in a herd. Buffalo that wander on the plain, it's flat, there's nowhere to hide, so they all group together, and that's their shelter, to protect them from predators trying to get them. Water, we talked about. Every living thing on this planet Earth needs water. in some way or another. So either it's living in the water and extracting liquids that way, or it drinks water. Even animals that live in the desert get water somehow, whether like the dew on the leaves or from the prey that they eat. Everything needs water. And lastly, food. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Everything needs food, right? Plants produce their own food, and they're called producers. Plants are the only organisms that can make their food from basically nothing, right? We know that they use photosynthesis, which is sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, and they create their own food. Everything else, animals, which you could interpret humans and every dogs, cats, need to consume or eat something else. So they're called consumers. Plants are producers and animals are consumers. So a cow consumes grass, and that's how it gets its food. A lion consumes a cow, and that's how it gets its food. Now, why do things need food? Because we need energy. And all animals will run out of energy, get sleepy, and eventually starve if they don't consume food. The energy, called calories, comes from consuming food. Plants produce their food, glucose, but everything else needs to eat something else, consuming. That brings us to the food chain. So energy is what all living things need. The sun helps give plants the energy that they produce their sugar. Then that energy is stored in the plants. Your parents tell you to eat your vegetables, you need to eat your vegetables because they have good calorie energy. Eat the spinach or the strawberries or the tomatoes, and the energy from that plant goes into your body, and now you have energy. So the cow eats the grass and transfers the energy from the grass into it. Then the lion mauls and gets the cow, and the energy that was in the cow now goes into the lion, right? And this is the food chain, right? Starts at the bottom with grass or whatever. And there could be more steps than just grass, cow, lion. But the idea is that energy is going from the plants into animals that consume each other. Well, what happens if you're the top dog, like in The Lion King, the Circle of Life? You're Simba. Well, he's been eating the cows or the antelope or whatever, what have you. And then he lives his whole lion life. And when he dies, his body decomposes, and the energy that was in that lion seeps back into the ground and is absorbed as part of those new plants. So this transfer of energy, the sun beaming it down to us, the minerals in the soil being produced into the plant, then the animals consuming it. So we talked about all of this. Hopefully you understand. It's going to be better once we're talking to each other. But each environment needs to be balanced. If there are too many lions, they will eat up all the cows. And without enough cows to feed the lions will run out of food and will die. If there's too many cows, they eat up all the grass. So everything needs to be balanced. If it's not balanced, then one animal or one group will suffer until it becomes balanced. So let's say the lions eat all the cows. There's not enough cows to feed the lions. So the lions start to die and decompose one by one, and slowly more cows are born, and it balances out. So a balanced environment means that there is enough producers and consumers to keep the food chain going. Grass being grown, antelope eat the grass, the lions eat the antelope, the lions die, get absorbed back into the grass, and this whole process continues over and over. We talked about predators and prey. Prey are animals that are eaten. Predators are animals that eat. But even predators can be also prey. Let's say you're a Can't think of anything. You're a meerkat. Well, meerkats eat scorpions. They eat insects. So they are predators, and the insects and scorpions are prey. But meerkat is like, it's Timon from Lion King, Timon and Pumbaa. So they eat the bugs. So they are the predator to the bugs, but they can be a prey to a jaguar or a cheetah. And so on and on it goes up the food chain until you're at the top. The top predator is the animal that only eats and is not eaten. So is a meerkat a top predator? No. Is a lion a top predator? Yes, because nothing hunts and eats the lion. So the top predator is the thing that is on, that only hunts and is not eaten. All right. We talked a little bit about this in the plants chapter and the soils chapter. Decomposers. So when an animal dies or when a plant dies and it falls to the ground, well, it needs to decompose or break down back into particles. Well, the fungus and the animals that help decompose these organisms are called decomposers. Mushrooms are decomposers. Many insects like earthworms are decomposers. And what that means is they break down, let's say a leaf falls onto the ground, and as it decomposes and breaks up, that the worm eats bits of it and poops it out. The mushroom absorbs some of its material and breaks it down into little pieces. Those are called decomposers. All right. So food chain we've talked about. You have producers, the plant, consumers, things that eat plants. You have prey, those are the animals that are being hunted. You have predators, those are the animals that hunt and eat other animals. Then you have the top predator, and then you have the decomposers that break everything down after it dies. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this Thursday. I'm not going to keep you much longer. We talked already about water habitats, saltwater and freshwater. On Thursday, we're going to talk about land habitats. So land habitats are all of the different places on the ground that animals can be designed to live in. So like I said, a rattlesnake is designed to live in a desert area. A reindeer is designed for the cold. Some animals, like billy goats, are designed for mountains and they can scamper along, they won't fall off. Other animals are designed for the prairies, flat land, like the buffalo we've been talking about today. But so the things that I want you to take away from this are producers, consumers, decomposers, prey, predators, the food chain, and how that transfer of energy. That's what food is. It's energy. If you get tired, right, you may need a nap, but you also may need food. If you eat a bunch of sugar, then you get hyper for a second, but because you didn't have good energy, then you crash right after. But if your mom or dad packs you a lunch, you go to school, then you eat your peanut butter sandwich or whatever it is, and then afterwards you have all this energy to run around on the yard. Energy comes from the food. Every animal or organism needs food in order to live. All right, so that's the science lecture for today. Tomorrow, we're going to try and get our meeting. We're not going to like stay online really quick. We're just going to, hey, good to see you. And Mrs. Doliel and the office are going to let your parents know exactly when that's going to be. But I'm super excited because I have been missing you guys. You know, we usually get to talk about Pokemon and talk about all of the different cool things that are happening, and I'm missing out on all that. But you're going to be able to tell your kids one day, when I was in 3rd grade, we all had to learn from home, and they're going to be like, lucky. You're like, nope, wasn't that cool. But soon we'll be back in school, and we will remember how good it feels. All right, missing you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.